No dude, this is iodized table salt, which, in addition to sodium chloride, contains anti-caking agents and potassium iodate, which is added to prevent iodine deficiency. So not only are you being overly pretentious by insisting on using scientific terminology for everyday items, you're factually wrong. Your arrogance is your downfall, you annoying little shit. And that was said by Skeet from Jimmyneutron. At this point in the patch cycle, the meta is completely solved. There's basically two ways to play the game. Way 1, spam medium tanks on 7th Panzer or 5E. Drive the tanks into the forest and kill everybody. Drive the tanks into the open and kill everybody. Rely on weight of numbers. Way 2, play 3rd Armoured, 8th US, 79Y or 39Y. Spam your heavy tanks, whether they be M1A1s or T80BVs respectively. Just pump 1 out a minute instead of the 2 that you can do on the medium tanks, and just drive them into the forest and kill everybody. So that's obviously really boring. A lot of people have been complaining about this. I mean, I can't claim I haven't helped contribute to this. The finals of so I won the March monthly Warno tournament, and I played 3rd Armoured, and I played 8th US, and my opponent played 79Y, and then he played 7 Panzer, and we spammed our medium tanks, and we spammed our heavy tanks. 5E was banned in both games by me. So yeah, we're all hoping for a patch, desperately waiting for a patch. As it stands, I'm tanking my rankings to play off-meta divs. Here we are in the April monthly tournament, and I'm playing against Darkneutron. He's a pro in Steel Division 2, he's got a few thousand hours in Steel Division 2. And yeah, he's playing the meta, he's playing 79Y, and I've gone for something a little bit different. I'm playing 82nd Airborne. I'm trying to resurrect a strategy from the past, which basically requires you to have about 3 times as much APM as your opponent. But all in the name of entertainment. And we'll see how it goes. We're on Vertigo, and I'll talk through the deployments, and hopefully we get that patch before I really lose the will to live. So let's talk deployments, and I'm actually going to start with my opponent's deployment, because it's the thing I'm trying to counter, right? So, Darkneutron, great player, playing 79Y, third best div in the game by my estimations. One of the reasons they're so OP is the Spetsnaz Gru. The sniper rifles are really good, but on the other side we do have LRS, which are comparable. Basically exactly the same. Mine cost a bit more, whatever. But yeah, the Spetsnaz Gru are really good because they also get an RPG, which means you can't just drive a vehicle up to them to counteract this sniper rifle, because they'll kill that as well. Anyway, we've got one going to here, which is interesting, quite conservative. And then behind that, we've got a slow mechanized attack. So 2 Cubs is enough to shut down any air on the map. Let's talk about why that is. 5,650 meters range. Right. So the outer bound on this circle is 2,500 meters. Do you see that? So that's 2,500. And then that's 5,000 on this side. And on the other side, it goes to about here. So 1 Cub can shoot this entire area. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hang on a minute, Hippie. That's the entire playable area of the map. Yeah, you're right. So it's basically, really fun patch. And that's why divisions like 82nd don't do so well out of this. Behind that, well, we've also got an OSA, so this will stop the helicopters because it gets there faster because it's wheeled, whereas the Cubs are tracked. Behind that, T80BVK command tank is going through the zones. Behind that, 2 TO55s so basically these are really cheap. For some reason, they only cost 45 points. They're used to tank for the T80BV, and if you get them into range, the flamethrower on them is really, really good. But yeah, it's 90 points for some really good shielding for your command tank that can also kill people. These are quite cheap for what they are. The base T55 is 55 points. I don't understand why this one's cheaper. Then we've got 2 BMP2s and 2 sappers, and they're deploying quite conservatively because he knows he's going to get there second against an airborne division. And we've got some supply. The supply was probably going for the Cubs, right? Select that again. Yeah, it's going for the Cubs. Keep the Cubs supplied. On the right side, relatively defensive deployment. So Spetsnaz GRU going to here. And behind that, a 30 Mike, as the Americans call it. So that will stop any infantry push. The Metis will stop any armored push, and then 2 Strelas for anti-helo. Strelas being great for anti-helo because they're non-radar and they've got 8 missiles, salvo length of 4, and they're a lot cheaper than the OSA. So that's it for Jimmy's deployment. Let's go to my deployment. So I'm going very light on the left. I've got 1 LRS, which is comparable to the Spetsnaz GRU, but they don't have a rocket launcher. So 70.6 strength. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is really OP, but this is better, and it costs 5 points less because of the RPG. It really changes the way you play it, because if you're up against LRS, you just drive a vehicle up to them, they can't do anything about it, whereas these guys get an RPG. I'm not sure why they're cheaper, I would make them more expensive, but regardless, all of these guys are too cheap for what they are. When you've got Special Forces, Airborne Forward Deployment, ground surveillance, radar, shock, recon, obviously, a bunch of good SMGs, and this sniper rifle, which really OP right now. I mean, for all of that, this should be like 110 points, but then you say, well, that's stupid, right? So I would actually be in favor of reworking this whole unit and splitting a ground surveillance radar team and a separate DMR team, and not having them be the same team, and not giving them special forces. Really messing with the balance of the game. Basically, if you keep your sniper team alive and the enemy doesn't keep his sniper team alive, then you've got a pretty good chance of winning. Anyway, behind that, Dragon Paras, so Airborne Dragon 2. So the Dragon 2 is like a medium-range ATGM, so it'll stop anybody trying to come across there with a vehicle push. Now on the right side, I've got the Bradley CFV with the TOW 2, so you can hit anybody in that radius with a TOW 2, so this is a good place to put it. If you put it here, then you're too close and the tanks will get you. Just basic common sense. On the right side, this is the genesis of my push, so is genesis the right word? That means beginning. I mean, whatever. So I've got 2 mortars for smoke. This is Karma's old strategy. I hope he comes back, although I don't see why he would with what we're playing with at the moment. So 2 mortars for smoke, you deploy them back here, and then I've got my own LRS cool sniper teams. They go into this building. Behind that, 2 AA, so my Avenger Paras are sort of roughly comparable to an OSA. The Avenger Paras are a bit better, but it's a bit more expensive, but it's a bit worse against planes. Yeah, it's got a really good burst. You can shoot, like, yeah, you shoot 4 stingers. It's really not bad. It's not as good as it used to be because like these Strelas all got buffed, right? So this is actually comparable and a lot cheaper. Anyway, so yeah, smoke, LRSs, and then a bunch of, so 1 stinger because I had extra points, Fire Team 84 for 84s, Airborne Engineers for satchel charges, 1 Fire Team Dragon for the close range stuff if I can get him to here, and Military Police. The military police stops everybody from getting stunned so easily, which they do a lot these days, because he has the military police tag, so he stands over them with a big stick and makes them go forwards. And then a scout helicopter and a supply. The supply is going to the front, the scout helicopter is also going to the front. So, as far as I'm aware, no one played 82nd in any of the tournament games last month. I'd have to check. People just aren't playing it, because why would you? I mean, you use your air and the cub shoots it down. But I do think there's still something to this smoke play. I think if you smoke enough, you can take the zone, and then you can set it up on an open map such as these. You can set up like a row of TOW 2s and dragons, and then you can win. So I do think that it has a playable state, and we will see how that goes against a player of comparable, if not greater skill than myself. So yeah, I apologise for the cut edits in these videos, like wacky edits going on. I'm really ill and I keep coughing. I know it sounds like I've smoked about 10,000 cigarettes. I saw a post, somebody said that they like listening to my voice. I don't know why. I sound like I gargle gravel. But yeah, here we go. Is this on slow mode? One sec. Time speed, I'm just a zoomy boy. So the first thing we do is get the mortars out and get the smoke going to cover our infantry as they move up. These guys are bugged, which is fantastic, so I noticed that, and you've just got to move them because they get bugged out and then they can't do anything. So where's our smoke going? A line to here to take this, and a line to here to take this. So we get here and we're here ahead of the party because 79Y not supposed to have forward deployment, but you know, they get one of the strongest forward deployment tools in the game. Same with 3rd Armored and 39Y. These sniper teams, they just mess everything up. And 5E. 5E gets the Dragon Paras. They're basically the same. 1st Armored gets the SAS Patrol, and 5th Panzer gets the Fern Speyer. So I'd be in favour of all these units being removed and added to something else. I've just totally reworked, but I don't know what's in the pipe, and you know, if the dev makes a unit, it's very hard for you to just turn around and say, look, this is garbage, can we get rid of this, please? So I don't know what'll happen. Maybe they'll just nerf the DMR into the ground or something. Well, we'll see. So I'm moving up here, and I get here first, but there was actually no contest, and I'm using the smoke, and I realise, oh, here's a bunch of tanks, and I brought a bunch of engineers, which are now useless to me. So that's not great. And then I switch up my... No, I've not done that yet. So yeah, the dragon can get some hits, but this is my only guy that can contest any of this. So I switch it up, I'm like, okay, fine. I need to pull him into short range so that the AT-4s can hit him, so I'm just going to smoke in front of him instead. So within this range, if he moves past a smoke belt here, the AT-4s can hit him, and he doesn't want that to happen. Sorry, just having a cough break there. I'm really not at 100%, but you know, you can't complain, show goes on. I'll be alright. And yeah, so fine. We smoke in front of the command tank, and sure, that lets him get into the zone, and that's not fab, but it is what it is. You'll also notice that I opened 0 CVs, whereas my enemy opened with a 255 point command tank, which is fair enough considering the base one cost 225, so it might as well be a 30 point command tank. But that's, you know, 235 points, and then here's another 235 point command tank. Over here he's trying to move up, but these defensive walls prevent either player from pushing with a piecemeal force. The autocannons will kill this man, along with the sniper, but he starts getting hits off on my dragon, and he's probably going to kill that if I don't react. Darkneutron's now +8, but it doesn't matter because I've got the zone. I've been speaking about this a lot. People just keep, you know, oh, I'm gonna buy loads of CVs, I'm gonna be +12, I'm gonna win the game. That's not how Vertigo works. If you're good enough to push, then you can just push your enemy out if he does that, if he spends 500 points on CVs. So finally get TOW 2 up. I've got TOW 2s to, you know, smack the T80 BVs. Once you've set up, then that's when you bring in the ATGMs. Obviously TOW 2 is 120 points, very difficult to bring it at the start. Although against this setup, maybe I should have. And now he's found that he just can't push because I smoke him massively, so he's forced to, if he wants to push, he has to come into this line. And if he does that, then I chew him up with my infantry. So he's desperately trying here, and he's got the zone. He's now down to +7 because I finally bought 2 CVs. This is 200 points for 2. This is 255 for 1. And yeah, we've got the Cubs and everything, so he was expecting helicopters perhaps, and he's bought another Cub now, and the whole thing's just a no-fly zone, but he can't push over here either, you know, because of this, although I don't know if that mess hits, it'll probably one-shot me, actually. Okay, so we can push, I mean, whatever, right, I should have smoked it. But yeah, over here, I've got this zone now, and yeah, he's trying to push across, but I'm already here. I've got my infantry here. I should have had some smoke here. Obviously, you keep having to fire the smoke because the tanks can move, right? You got to keep moving. But yeah, this Metis will now run into the next guy, which is the RS, eventually. And now I've bought some Humvee TOWs and some Bradley TOWs, just trying to get the TOW 2s out so we can't push. As you can see, my smoke wasn't great, but now I've shot some more smoke at him. Need to pull these guys back to here, really. Infantry takes a really, really long time to kill other infantry, so this infantry in the open, as you've seen, he's just sort of moving it backwards and forwards, and it's all still alive. I've been shooting it with my own infantry, but it just doesn't do too much.
And yeah, he's doing a great job repairing his tank, moving his tank up, repairing his tank, moving it out of the smoke. Because you only need to repair for 1 second to get your smoke back, and that's what he's doing. He's just sending it back, getting the smoke, sending it back, getting the smoke. So yeah, it's used to great effect. It's been pushed out the zone, and at this point, you know, now that I've got the TOW 2 set up, my smoke is now counterproductive because yeah, I've got the TOW 2 set up. Once the smoke clears, I can just rinse it, and so that's why I stopped smoking. It's not rocket science. Over here, Darkneutron has realised that, you know, he's burned, and so he's going to try and push this zone instead. Move up the Bradleys, but yeah, I am a bit thin on the ground here. This is typically where you'd bring out a helicopter, but a helicopter would just die. So I got to move my CV out of this zone. I've lost this zone now. And as the smoke clears, we find that, you know, trying to shoot toes at this guy, and eventually we get him. Just lets his micro slip for a second because he's controlling stuff over here. Brought up a stinger, not really what you want, but I managed to save my CV, and for some reason I had another one behind it, so that was a misplay. And yeah, I've swapped to HE rounds now on my mortars. And now he just can't move up here because TOW 2s are set up now. So I've got 2 TOW 2s, and I've got the Abrams as well for the tank gun. And now attention has to be turned over to here. I see Cub destroyed. Oh yeah, the Cub got wasted by a TOW 2. Need some more supply. These guys are really supply hungry because of how fast they fire, and you know, if your enemy smokes them, that's a wasted shot, and then you fire another one. Over here, you know, the TOW 2s, right? So I get the hit, and then he's... Well, I was forced to smoke. He's still tanking it, but if he took another one there, he'd die, so here's another TOW 2. And yeah, he doesn't react in time. I mean, keep in mind, these things have 65% accuracy, and that's without the veterancy bonus we're all getting. So yeah, I moved up some heavy hogs because his Strelas were too out of position to support his push. But now I've overextended here, and these will probably die to the Strelas. Personally believe anti-air's far too strong, but you know, you can't play a air-heavy deck and then complain about AA. That's a bit silly, isn't it? Over here, I was like, oh, I've not got Stinger. Because I just want I had one. But I've got these Avenger Paras. Just when I had 2 of these as well. I don't know, I must have lost one to something. So I'm trying to move it up to kill these helicopters. But yeah, I'm now +4. I've got a 710-point lead to make up. But that's the difference between buying CVs at the start, not buying CVs at the start. And I just got to keep the mortars firing. The entire strategy relies on this. I have to stop him from using his distance advantage by shooting mortars or spamming out TOW 2s. So there's that stinger I was talking about. And yeah, I have sort of been pushed out here because my engineers get routed. This guy's got a 50 cal on him, which is actually pretty good. So you can use him as a fire support vehicle. Needs to be a little bit further back, really. Could have brought the Abrams round. Over here, your sniper in the open will lose to my sniper in the town, but I've run out of sniper rounds. So that's really bad now. I'll probably lose that. But yeah, I guess he doesn't know I'm out of sniper rounds, so he pulls back. And yeah, whenever he tries to move his tanks up, TOW 2 hits him. So there goes another one. So you send the seed plane first, right? But, you know, it doesn't do anything because seed's a bit garbage. The point is that you use the ECM. Using the ECM. So if this had not run out of ammo there, these guys would both be dead, but it ran out of ammo. And then the Strelas, you know, they've only got 40... I said they've only got 45% accuracy. So you send the seed plane first. Seed's really weak right now, but it's just about that ECM. It's about using that ECM to soak up shots for your main guy, which I used to shoot the Spetsnaz Gru. I've been using the LGB bombers. Sometimes they work really, really well for me, and sometimes they just miss everything. I'm really not sure what's going on with it. I learned from Integer that if you right-click on your plane after the bombs deploy, the bomb will always miss. So that's cool. But even when I evac, things seem to happen, and I'm not sure, like, you have to evac right, otherwise you're just going to keep flying forwards and you're going to die. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Just got to keep those mortars firing. I'm not keeping my mortars firing. I bought some more mortars. I believe I bought some for this side now as well. because basically now I've got a commanding lead, and what I need to do is just spend the rest of the game stopping him from smacking a bunch of T-80 BVs and BMP2s into me. And this is how that's done. For some reason, my CV is not in the zone, so I just lost my +4 there for no reason. Bit silly of me. And yeah, I need to watch out for burrito shenanigans, but they ain't cheap. This guy needs a supply. And yeah, the supply for the Cubs. I don't have any heavy artillery with which to hit the enemy, so I've got to rely on the mortars. There we go, I'm back on the +2 now. And Jimmy definitely gearing up for an attack here. Having this guy here was a mistake, because, you know, I need to have him at max tow range so that the tank guns can't shoot him, but I know I can survive a max range hit. And then, you know, he's forced to smoke and I'm forced to smoke, but that was silly. I should have just had him back here. There's no reason for that. But now I've got lots of tows, lots of dragons, anticipating this push, and because he put his tank there, he actually moved it out of the zone. So now I'm on a +4 again, but that'll go down to +2 shortly. He was forced to pull back this motorized rad Vertigo because I just mortaring the crap out of that. I couldn't even see it, I just assumed he was there. Back to +2 on this. Lots of Motor Strelky and BMP2s gearing up, lots of T80BV printing. Just print those T80BVs. We see a T80U as well. And we have a bit of a lull in the battle. While my enemy builds up, and I know he's building up, because what else would he be doing? And so I have to build up my own defenses, and yeah, so I get a mortar over here. Get some MIP Abrams. These guys don't have a max range gun. They've only got 2,100 meter range gun. So yeah, they're not great. So you gotta think like 235, 200. But you know, this is one more pen, high range. Having said that, you know, an airborne division shouldn't really have access to super good heavy tanks, so I think that's perfectly reasonable. And I get my LRS into this building now that I've mortared the crap out of that. And if anybody had shown up, I would have hit them with the Abrams and the TOW 2. Over here, I didn't secure my flanks, so this was a big mistake. I just had one engineer here. I mean, if you put somebody in this building, it's so hard to shift, and you can get a bit of AA over here, get perhaps a TOW 2 here. Or even a TOW 2 here, but I don't have any of that. I've got the Bradley, and that's out of position. And so now Darkneutron's coming in over here. On this side, recon helicopter goes down. You can't rely on that in these standoffs because, yeah, if a Stinger's here, you know, it's going to hit it. Like I said, pretty weak right now. But yeah, on this side, I should have definitely had a Stinger up here. I'm not sure where it was. It sat in the wrong place. Could have had another engineer dragon here, and then this allows Darkneutron to just drive down this road. All I've got blocking it is an engineer. And I saw it with the engineer, pulled it back, and I was like, well, if I bring out my Bradley, that's going to die. Because I saw the tanks. So now he's just driving down this road. I summoned an Apache. I don't know how useful that's going to be, because I haven't seen this OC yet. So this guy's going to go down now. And yeah, over here, you know, just hit him with the mortars, why not? Got nothing better to do. No artillery from my opponent's quite surprising, given, you know, this is where I am, and this is where he is. Like, that's artillery, right? That's where you use your artillery. So yeah, I'm sort of totally fucked over here, but you know, the question is, well, what does he do with that? So obviously, once it gets to here, it can shoot down the road, and that's why I bought the Apache, to try and stop that. And there was, yeah, here's the OSA. And an AA helicopter. So I didn't actually see the OC yet, but I did see the AA helicopter. And I was like, well, I can't use this. So I just need to keep this here and stop him from cutting my reinforcement. Because once he gets to here, you know, it gets kind of hard to reinforce. He'd have to come down this road, go down here maybe. And yeah, I'm firing the mortars, but they're sort of firing at the wrong place. So over here, this is on the ground. I try and hover them above trees, but they just seem to automatically path to the ground. I don't know, maybe I'm an idiot. And on this side, I'm trying to move up some guys to here, like Totu and stuff, so that we can hit him across. Got some Abrams in reserve. This guy needs to be repaired. And I'm lacking recon. If I buy a recon helicopter, it'll die. But yeah, this Apache's pouring out the Hellfires, and he's trying to micro all this, and he's massively overextended here. So he keeps making mistakes. Like I just domed that T-80 with the Hellfire side shot. Now I'm going to dome that Gaz 66. Epic. And then I eat a bunch of OSA shots, but thankfully I've got the... Yeah, so he lost visual on that last one, and I've got the 20% ECM. So that's like 30% accuracy. Something like that. I know the calculation isn't 1-to-1. You got to do some proper maths, but I'm not going to do that. So I moved the Abrams up, and this wasn't... it's a T-80U, so I'm not going to win. But the hope is that I've got supply and he doesn't. Depends if this guy takes off in time. Right, looks like neither of us have supply. And I bring out the A10, I'm like, oh shit, there's a bunch of AA here as well. He's managed to drive just a bunch of AA down here as well. This thing's got ECM too, but it's not gonna beat that. One thing he doesn't have with him is supply, so he... And then I was like, oh, I'm out of range here, but I'm not. So now I'm still dying to the OSAs. Making a lot of mistakes now. The Apache, I'm trying to get healed up, but you need some serious supply to heal these now. Like the costs are just insane. And yeah, I'm now being attacked in the side with, just send the tanks in. Lots of tanks, lots of tanks. That's the meta. You gotta see that coming. So, Diversity Bomber comes out, but misses. And I've got a seed behind it, but he turns off the radar, so the seed doesn't do anything. Always got to be careful of the MiG-31, because it just hits you across the map. It's one of the many reasons 79Y is so strong. And yeah, so now I'm trying to trade against these tanks, but he just doesn't have the micro to do this properly, right? Because he's driving into this wall of ATGMs, and then he's got to smoke them all and go back, and he doesn't have supply, so I don't even know if these ones have smoke. They've got 7 armor, which means, well, we'll see if this one shots. I think that was a side hit. So yeah, these things don't do too well against Dragon 2s, but he's got CV up, and my seed's down now. So it's looking pretty rough for me. And now he's buying supply, but he's pathing it wrong. You got to path it manually. You've got to tell it to go here first, and then you got to path it down here because of the way the map works, right? It's trying to take the shortest route, which takes it the wrong way. On this side, still mortaring. I'm not going to kill anything. I mean, these mortars don't really do any damage, but they do stress damage. So you see stress down. And you saw it going down there, and then it just goes back up again. And yeah, whatever, it's free, right? Until he counter batteries me, I'm just going to keep doing it. Over here, I send out the seed again, but these guys are actually out of ammo now. And when they're out of ammo, the seed plane won't hit them, even if it's switched on. You can't actually switch it off when it's out of ammo. It's a weird distinction. But I was like, no one's shooting me, so I'm going to kill that AA helicopter, and then I'm going to try and kill this as well. That Stinger, where is that Stinger? It's in a really bad place. And then, yeah, I was like, okay, nothing's hitting me, and I could see this. And there you go. Get that. So there goes the command on that side. And there you go. So I still had my seed missiles, so he switched that one back on. Or, what, did he have 1 round left in it? I thought they were out of ammo, but he must have switched that one back on. It must have had 1 round. So you got to keep the seed circling while he's trying to micro the AA. And another problem you get from driving, super heavy tanks the length of the map forward, backwards to dodge stuff is that they start running out of fuel. So you need supply for that. Can't just drive around in your go-kart. So now I'm like, okay, well, there's no one shooting at me. But I saw the supply. So he's now over-invested in supply. So I'm trying to get this guy in for the supply. This MiG-31 massively overextends, but I can't punish it. I try and hit it with the gun. All my missiles miss. It's really sad. So I send the F-15. Miss. 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 At least that Cub doesn't hit me. That'd be really embarrassing. So yeah, I had a hard time with that MiG, but I don't know, I should have had more AA here, really, it's my own fault. And then I'm like, okay, we gotta hit the supply quick, because he's gonna resupply all his guys, although this was just like a massive overinvestment. You don't need 5 supplies. I suppose you do if I'm trying to kill him. And now that Osa's gonna get supplied and it's gonna immediately start shooting at me. You see how far away that cub can hit me from? Can hit me from the previous zone. So yeah, Osa's up now, and now it's squeaky bum time. As soon as it's finished reloading, it's going to start shooting me. But you know, I don't know that yet. It's not shot me. And yeah, it's still reloading. But here we go. And then it hits me twice and kills me. I've got another LGB bomber behind. I deployed this before I knew the Osa was back up. And yeah, see, it just misses. Just misses massively. Because I lost line of sight or something, I don't know. So you can't rely on your air assets, and that makes the airborne divisions kind of bad, because they are infantry and air, and both of those are very weak right now. Then I send the seed out, but he's turned it back off, and, you know, I should have planned that better. He's going to shoot me through the mountain now. And yeah, I should have kept this for when I... So what you do is you deploy the regular bomber and you deploy the seed in front of it or behind it. In front of it if you're against AA that you can never possibly hope to shoot because it's a cub and it just outranges you massively. Or behind it if you actually expect to be able to kill some of these AA pieces. So an Osa I can hit, right, with its 3k range. But a cub I would never be able to hit because this is 5.650 and the seed ranges are roughly comparable, but the seed missile is slower than the cub missile. But here we see this push again, and you know he's pushing into a cauldron basically. So I've got ATGMs on this side, and ATGMs on this side, and ATGMs on this side, and so he's got to use his smoke and stuff, and he's not doing it. So his guys just keep getting picked off by TOW2s from 3 sides. Over here, he's now trying to attack over this field. And he's running into the same problem, where I'm just going to shoot loads of toes at him. That one hits, but yeah, against the UD, you're going to need a lot of TOW2 shots. So yeah, let's over here. These guys are all dead, right? Because the tanks died first because he didn't micro them properly. They drive sideways into all these toes. Got shot from 3 sides. So over here we go again. I should have got the mortars firing immediately. This guy's out of ammo, so a really big mistake from me. And this LRS should have been in this house. Shouldn't have been so overextended. This supply is going to die now. So yeah, we bring over the Apaches and the Heavy Hogs. Obviously he's got 3 AA pieces here, but that, you know, the AA piece is not here. It's here. So even though it has the range, he would have to have it at the front. And then if it's at the front, the tanks can shoot him. And this is why you should bring manpads, because they can be at the front. Whereas these vehicles, as soon as he sends it forwards, I'm going to blow it up with the tank. And yeah, so, you know, this guy's eating ATGMs from 3 sides now. I should have really had a TOW2 here. Or even if I could get one up to here, that'd be amazing, but that's pretty ambitious. Yeah, it's going to take a lot of hellfires, a lot of toes to kill this guy. This guy's out of ammo. That's a mistake. Over here we've got another CV, and this Osa's repairing again. Get him fresh ammo. And yeah, he's got this problem where because all his AA is vehicular based. As soon as he moves it up, I spot it and kill it because it's got bad stealth. Whereas, you know, infantry's got good stealth, right? And the 2-man Stinger teams have exceptional stealth, so you can put them at the front. And that's why I run these. So yeah, I hope you're learning some. Like I said, you gotta have that epic micro. I've sort of been letting the ball slip here, but I'm just so far ahead at this point that I don't have to concentrate too much. And so yeah, now he's trying to move the cub forward to shoot the Apache in. You know, that's like 2825, 2800, so they'll shoot at the same time. And then he hits me, but you know, you only get 3 missiles. And when I was stunned, I was moving back, and then he lost range, so he only managed to fire 2 missiles. This actually has a stabilizer on it, but I don't know how you would use that. I guess you'd have to move it parallel or something. And yeah, the Strelas are being moved up now, so I'm moving the Abrams up to try and shoot the Strelas, and we got the Dragons right, but they're not. The range on that isn't great. Right, there we go. There goes the AA.
over here, same thing happening again. Just spam T80 BVs, get some infantry in front of it, get some AA behind it, and then walk forwards. Just the same thing as here. But yeah, if I make an ATGM wall, then it gets very, very difficult for your enemy to move into that. My tanks can't beat his tanks, but that's not what I need them for. It's just to hold him off and, you know, tank shots. Like, while this guy is shooting, there should be a load of toes shooting at him, and here we go. On this side, I really should have just got a couple more infantry, because yeah, so this is what I'm trying to do. I thought there was still somebody in here, so I'm trying to move these engineers forwards to clear this out, and then I've got the Bradley behind it and the helicopter behind that if I need it. There you go, Stingers, he doesn't see it. Pretty sure he's not running it in his deck, otherwise we would have seen some Igloos by now. And then he resigned, so yeah, GG, well played. I hope I've shown you that the heavy tank meta is good, but it can be beaten if you just smoke the shit out of everything and, you know, then defend as if your life depends on it. You see what I mean? Sooner or later they make mistakes, and this is one of the best players in the game. So, you know, if he's doing it, other people are going to do it as well. Rank 30th. I'm ranked 28th now because I keep playing KDA and 82nd. So yeah, GG. I hope you've learned something. Can't show you my APM, but it was pretty high for game 1.